Hi, welcome to another edition of BusttheNet. Today we continue with the last episode where we looked at the 4-3-3. In that system, I used a center forward with a winger with wingers supporting him. Now, that system actually can work, but it depends a lot on the strength of the center forward as well as speed of the wingers to get behind their players. Against the defensive side that may pack the defense, you are going to face challenges because the play is pretty one-dimensional and you're really depending on the abilities of three players on the pitch to outperform the rest of the team. Now, one of the other ways you can actually enhance that system is by getting the midfielders in the supporting areas to move up the pitch and also get the fullbacks involved in play, but that opens your side up to a lot of risks. Now, one of my favorite systems to play is actually to deploy a F9 in the point forward position where he can actually drop deep. When he drops deep, it allows other players to attack the space that is vacated by him. This pulls defenders out. It allows him to play others in. And one of my favorite roles when I started playing this game was the Raumdeuter. The Raumdeuter, as you know, is closely modeled on our friend Thomas Müller, who plays for Germany. He really made people sit up and notice that role in the World Cup. I still remember watching him play and thinking, this guy's a waste of space until he started scoring goals. So my first chance to try the system out would be against a Gaddafi side hell-bent on defending. My biggest worry would be the middle of the park. That's where I usually focus my attention first to see whether or not we can control the game from the center. I wasn't too thrilled at how my box-to-box midfielder played in this game. He wasn't closing down as well as a ball-winning midfielder would, and it made it slightly harder for us to control the middle of the park. We were fairly lucky with our inside forward pulling defenders away, allowing Sal to come in late to lay off a pass to Koke, whose shot was parried and the inside forward was on hand to score the goal. The player ratings are confirming what I had suspected. We had decent shots at goal, but we were not creating as many clear-cut chances as I would have liked. I would now have to consider whether or not having a ball-winning midfielder would be a better option in the next game. Our next game, an away match against Cordoba, who are playing a 4-1-4-1 with some attacking roles quite clearly evident. We hadn't changed our Saul to a ball-winning midfielder, something I would end up doing later in the course of the game. But we had the good fortune of getting Fernando Torres, Mario Mandzukic back from injury. Griezmann was still injured. For this game, I was going to concentrate my attention now on where I suspected the weakness of the system to be, which would be the box-to-box midfielder in Saul. As the game starts, it looks like we're pretty solid in midfield and defensively. Torres drops deep, playing really well in the pocket of space, validating my choice of him as an F9. The goal, not a typical Raumdeuter's goal. I'm not too unhappy with the way this goal is scored because we were playing against a packed defense. The movement that was generated allowed the Raumdeuter to actually find the space to make the shot. It's at this point in the game when I notice when Gabi and Saul are so close to each other, that's the point when I realize maybe the choice of a box-to-box midfielder is not a wise one to make. Even though he plays some exquisite passes to find Torres, it's still an area of concern. After we go down a goal to Cordoba off a corner, that's when I start making a decision as to whether or not we should be changing him around. I don't at this point because I want to see how the first 45 minutes line up. Just after the break, I make the decision to make the change. The performances in midfield improve. We start taking control of the match. Now we start moving the ball around a lot better and start carving out more and more chances. The pressure pays off. We do score a goal from a corner kick, but I'm still looking at improving the way we play. So even though we walk away with a 2-1 win against Cordoba, the decision has been made to change make a slight change to the tactic to also give the central midfielder who's on support playing beside Saul, dribble more with the ball so that he can carry the ball a bit further. I haven't done any set piece changes, so we did miss the penalty because I hadn't bothered about who was going to take the penalty. I do like the stats. There's definitely an improvement from the last game. We make a few more clear-cut chances. We're moving the ball a bit better from defense into midfield. The area that I have to fix now is going to be just that one spot on the pitch, which is the box-to-box midfielder to be swapped around to a ball-winning midfielder. It's great having Torres as a F9. He drops deep, allows the two guys on the flanks to move up into the space or to move laterally into space. Our next game against Real Sociedad, we have made the change to our box-to-box midfielder and now playing him as a ball-winning midfielder. The sad news for us is the number of injuries we've had, so I've had to chop and change the side around. Hopefully this doesn't affect us badly. I have made two distinct changes to the team now. Thiago, who is playing as a central midfielder on support duty, has been told to dribble more with the ball, and the ball-winning midfielder is now being used in place of the box-to-box midfielder. Hopefully this combination helps me carry the ball a bit further up so that he's closer to the F9, and then we are also able to control midfield a bit better. With these changes, I'm hoping to see us take control of the midfield better and for the flanking strikers to stretch the defending side's fullbacks out of position. And as we start off, Torres actually plays the delightful ball for Arda Turan, who's playing a Raumdeuter, to score a typical Raumdeuter goal, where he actually explores the vertical space behind the defenders to get into a dangerous position. It's something that I enjoyed watching, and as the game carries on, we see a lot of work done by the ball-winning midfielder, who's now supporting the midfield a lot better. He doesn't end up in space control by other players. He's now in a pocket of space that allows him to dictate play. Our second goal will come off a really good exchange of play between the fullback, the ball-winning midfielder, and Jimenez, who will launch across to Torres, who finds time to score the goal. Two great goals inside forward, showing what he can do in a formation where we can stretch the defense. Our third goal shows what an inside forward can do in a back defense when he pulls defenders away, leaving the F9 free to slot in the goal. Looking at the stats, I'm very happy to see that the ball-winning midfielder is actually a better choice than the box-to-box midfielder in this kind of a setup. Fernando Torres picking up 2 goals and 1 assist by playing the F9's role. The match stats, nice numbers, clear-cut chances were nice to see, 3 out of 12. I'm happy with those kind of numbers for a team that's only playing the system for a really short time. What I was really going after in the system was to make sure that the midfielders all got their tackles in, and that was something I was tracking. So this is the 4-1-2-1 or 4-3-3 system that I used with Atletico Madrid. It's a control fluid system. The central midfielder on support, Thiago, has dribble more set for him as a PI, and I have several team instructions that I used in the last game. I did opt to go play wider in that match. You can choose not to use play wider. You can go default onto the default settings. That one I had play wider set up, which probably explains why Jim, the inside forward on the right hand side, managed to launch those crosses in from wide. I hope you enjoyed this video on the Raumdeuter and the inside forward. I love these two guys. I mean, they play really well, but you have to remember they need space. That is why sometimes the best option to use is a DLF or an F9 that's lone forward position, so that he drops down and lets them attack the space. You can also use a TQ for that matter as well. If you have any questions, you can always find me on addicted2fm.com. Of course, there's more on this written at addicted2fm.com. I compared the inside forward and a host of other strikers as well to see what their movement is like. If you have any questions, please drop me a note on Twitter or on the blog, and please subscribe if you enjoyed the show. I'll catch you again soon. Bye.